Okay, let's unpack this. I mean, how do you really know if someone has, a meek and quiet spirit?
That's a big word.
And like when you strongly disagree with someone you respect,
Hmm.
how do you even navigate that tension?
Yeah, it's tricky.
And crucially, how do you figure out, okay, should I submit to this advice or should I actually bravely hold my ground?
It's fascinating, isn't it? How these questions just cut right to the heart of our relationships, our growth. They really make you think beyond the surface stuff.
Right. Well, welcome back, everyone, to today's deep dive.
Hmm.
We're exploring a book that offers some really insightful takes on these exact challenges.
Hmm.
Today, we're getting into Seven Qualities Wise Men Want by Kingsley Okonkwo.
Yeah, and this book, while it's framed, as guidance for men looking for a partner, the wisdom in it, it's pretty universal for strong relationships.
So it's not just for men finding wives.
Not at all, I think.
Hmm.
It really pushes past the superficial things like, beauty or charm, the author calls those vain and deceitful.
Hmm.
Instead, it focuses on functionality, deeper qualities that make a connection actually last.
Interesting. So let's jump into that first quality he talks about, the fear of the Lord. That sounds, well, it sounds quite traditional. What does he really mean?
Yeah, it's more than just showing up to church. He
Hmm.
defines it as this deep, reverent, really personal relationship with God that sustains a marriage. It's like an internal compass.
An internal compass. How so?
Well, think of Joseph in the Bible, right? His integrity wasn't just because Potiphar was around. It came from fearing God.
Ah, okay.
So your character holds up even when no one's looking, or maybe when your spouse annoys you, it prevents that breakdown.
Yeah,
It's the why behind staying faithful, enduring things.
that makes sense. And that actually brings us right back to one of those opening questions. How do you know if someone has that meek and quiet spirit? What's the book say?
Well, the book defines it as teachability, like
Yeah.
a genuine ability to follow, to
Yeah.
learn. Yeah, and it's framed as something really valuable in God's sight, according to First Peter. It's not about being a doormat, but it's a strength under control, a willingness to listen, learn, work together. The author shares this pretty powerful story about his own wife agreeing to skip the engagement ring and wedding program because of money issues. She could buy into the idea, you see.
Wow, okay.
It's about being receptive, which is so important when you disagree or need to decide on counsel, right?
Hmm.
He warns against what he calls a rebellious woman, someone just unwilling to be convinced. That hinders partnership.
Gotcha. Okay, so from that inner character, the book moves to virtue. Says it's hard to find, more than rubies. What makes virtue so valuable?
He points to the Proverbs 31 woman as the sort of ideal, a multitasker, financially aware, has her own purpose, dreams, she contributes.
Right, not just passive.
Exactly. It contrasts with dependency or maybe trading virtue for superficial stuff. For the author, a virtuous person has goals, standards, not just about material things. They actively build up the family, the partnership.
Okay, and the fourth quality, wisdom. Defined as knowing the truth and actually doing it, like the house built on rock idea.
Precisely. It's practical application. Proverbs says a wise woman builds her house. She understands principles and uses them.
Any examples?
Abigail from 1 Samuel. She used her influence wisely, understood David's vision, the future king's vision, and actually stopped a disaster.
Ah, right.
The book also really stresses intellectual capacity, being able to have deeper talks, understanding maybe different communication styles, like men thinking more, talking less sometimes, and showing real interest in your partner's world.
Okay, moving on. It's interesting that hospitality is listed as a core quality. What's that really about? More than just dinner parties.
Yeah, it's broader. It's about the practical side of running a home, raising kids, relating well to people generally.
Makes sense.
And yes, basic home skills like cooking are mentioned because, well, men often appreciate food. He even uses the example of Rebecca in Genesis. Her unexpected kindness, offering water, led to huge blessings. So it's also about general generosity.
Okay, then there's wholesome.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Emotionally wholesome.
Exactly. It means someone who isn't, still deeply hurting from past stuff. They've dealt with emotional baggage, have decent self-esteem.
So not defined by past trauma.
Right. The book strongly warns against marrying someone out of pity or as a rebound. It emphasizes healing first, dealing with maybe authority issues before marriage.
Yeah.
Because, as he says, hurting people tend to hurt other people. Connects back to navigating that tension we talked about.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
And finally, number 7, trustworthy. This feels like the absolute bedrock.
Oh, absolutely. Trust is just crucial. The author is very direct. Trustworthiness is vital for peace, for security in a relationship.
It goes without saying almost.
Well, he emphasizes it strongly. A trustworthy person lives with integrity, honesty, fidelity. When trust is gone, you get constant suspicion, hidden money, just no peace. He even uses Mary, Jesus' mother, being a virgin as an example of God choosing someone unimpeachable to avoid controversy, reinforcing that value of a clean slate, fostering complete trust.
Wow. So these 7 qualities, they really paint a picture, don't they? It's a framework for building character, not just finding a partner. It gives a different lens for thinking about disagreement, when to stand firm, and yeah, how to spot that meek and quiet spirit.
Absolutely. I think the core message is that these qualities develop a character that builds a truly peaceful, fulfilling marriage. Something grounded in that inner compass, not just, fleeting attractions. It's about building a foundation that can actually last.
Thank you for joining us today for this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.